Iwo Jima is a testament to the brutality of war, where thousands of lives were lost just to gain a small piece of land. But it is also a symbol of the unshakable courage of soldiers on both sides. We planted our flag on that volcano, and once again, the road to Japan was shortened. But the price was too high.
Hiroshi Sato and his teammates turned the cave into a fortress, working hard to reinforce each position to prepare for the fierce battle ahead. The first wave of American troops landed on Okinawa with surprising ease when no significant resistance appeared. None of the American soldiers knew that the enemy had retreated underground, silently preparing a firestorm, waiting for them to advance further. Mac McMillan ducked behind a rock, trying to keep his gun steady as his teammates fell beside him. Through a narrow slit in a dark cave, Hiroshi Sato coldly fired at the advancing American soldiers without revealing a single trace of emotion. An American Sherman approached the cave entrance and fired continuously into the Rocky Mountain, determined to destroy the last blockade. In a roaring Hellcat, Jack Riley swooped down on the island, wiping out every gun emplacement and machine gun nest with pinpoint fire. The sky suddenly rumbled as a group of kamikazes dived straight down from above the American fleet, like a thunderbolt announcing death. Jack Riley swooped in to intercept a kamikaze that was diving toward the warship, determined not to let it reach its target. Jack hit the kamikaze's engine, but it stubbornly continued to fly through the smoke and flames. American anti-aircraft guns roared fiercely from the deck, creating a rain of bullets to stop the incoming suicide plane. Despite being hit by bullets, the kamikaze still crashed straight into the warship, igniting a terrible explosion in the middle of the ocean. From inside a cave, Hiroshi Sato watched his comrade's suicide plane crash into an American warship, and he could only bow his head in silence. Hiroshi Sato and his last group of soldiers were surrounded, but they fought to their last breath without surrendering. Okinawa, the last battle of the land war. More than 100,000 lives had fallen on this small piece of land. It was a grim warning of the cost of invasion. We had won, but it had been a victory stained with blood and tears. Both we and they had paid a heavy price. And now, with the battle for the last island over, we knew that the only way left was to advance into Japan itself, or find some other way to end the war. After the capture of Okinawa, the road to the Japanese homeland was open. But we knew that a full-scale invasion would be an unthinkable disaster. What was the alternative? It was to turn the skies into a battlefield, to bring the war to their doorstep. The B-29 super fortresses were mobilized, carrying their devastating payloads. Tokyo, Nagoya, Osaka, the great cities of Japan would face an inferno from above, unprecedented in the history of war.
It's so nice to have these quiet evenings together.
Indeed, a good meal and good company. I'm glad we could all be here.
Target locked. Prepare to drop bombs.
The bomb bay of a B-29 opened like the gates of hell, revealing hundreds of firebombs about to be dropped on Tokyo. Each bomb fell from the compartment like rain, carried by the wind, signaling the unprecedented devastation that would befall the city. In just a few minutes, Tokyo was engulfed in flames, red light from the ground rising, engulfing the night sky. The B-29 flew silently through the sea of fire below, the cockpit steaming and the heat reverberating from the burning city.
Help! Someone help us! Help us! It's too much!
Before the radar screen of bright dots, Japanese officers watched in helpless silence as the B-29s approached like predators. Japanese anti-aircraft guns still roared in despair. Each weak bullet streak sank into the burning sea and sky. Japanese night fighters appeared, but in the vast formation of B-29s, they were like swallows lost in a storm. Jack looked down at the burning city, his face weary, no trace of victory, only the echoes of smoke and silence. Even though he heard bombs falling in the distance and sirens wailing, Hiroshi continued to work, as if there was no other choice but to endure.
Dozens of such air raids took place, day and night, reducing Japanese cities to ashes. It was a brutal tactic, but it was designed to force them to surrender, to avoid an invasion that would cost millions of lives. We saw its consequences from above. We saw Tokyo burn. It was a horror, a necessary horror. But in any case, the war was not over. The final decision was still ahead.
The air raids devastated Japan, but they still did not surrender. Every day that passed, more lives were lost. The war seemed endless. Then, a terrible decision was made. A new weapon, a weapon unknown to mankind, was ready to change everything. It was the moment when war entered a new era, an era we hope will never be repeated.
All right, team, final checks. Let's move.
From the cockpit, they looked down at the peaceful city of Hiroshima below. Hiroshi Sato was thrown by the force and tried to stand up amidst the devastation. The crew looked back at the mushroom cloud that was still there in a heavy silence.
Proceed with the plan.
The atomic explosion, it ended the war. There were no more landings. There were no more Tarawas. There were no more Iwo Jimas. It saved millions of lives. Its price, the destruction it brought, will forever scar the history of mankind. It was the moment we won the war, but it was also the moment we faced a new reality. A world that could be destroyed at the push of a button. The war was over, but its questions were. The Pacific War is over. A war unlike any before it, filled with brutal island battles, brutal air battles, and ending with a weapon that forever changed the face of war. Soldiers like me, like Mac McMillan, and Japanese soldiers like Hiroshi Sato, we were all part of that history. The scars, both physical and mental, will never fully heal, but at least the war is over. The Pacific War is over, but its lessons endure, of courage, of resilience, and of the terrible cost of conflict. We cannot change the past, but we can learn from it, so that the sacrifices were not in vain, so that the echoes of gunfire never have to be heard again. So that peace is the only thing left on the beaches, the islands, and the skies where battle once took place.